Hey friends, it's Andrea from Prairie Sky DIY, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Manitoba. Today we are playing with Best Day. I'm using this little guy right here. We've got some Stampin' Blends, and I'm going to be using my Take Your Pick tool, but I'm going to show you a couple of different things that we can do with it. So we're going to get started with our card first. I'm going to stamp up our little cat, then we're going to do our sentiment. I'm going to put him right here. Straight down, straight up as always. Grab our sentiment, put it on. I'm using Very Vanilla today and Rich Razzleberry. So we're going to do a few impressions of this, but I'm just going to do straight down. Whoops, I'm going to fix that up with some embellishments later. Now let's get to coloring. I've only picked light smoky slate and rich razzleberry for my colors. So we're just going to do our little cat here. I've also got the color lifter because I wanted to show a quick little technique with that as well. Do a quick little color here around eyes. Not sure why I picked the brush end today, but it's fine. Coloring with blends can be so relaxing. Actually, coloring with anything can be relaxing. And then around the eye again. I am going to go over this a second time in a few spots just to kind of hit a little bit of the highlight that I want. I go over these lines, make it a little bit darker. When you go over the with the blends, it does get a little bit darker, and each subsequent time that you go over it, it gets a little bit darker. So this is just perfect for just a tiny little bit of highlight that you want to add. Now I've got the light and the dark rich razzleberry. I'm going to do light first. I love how all of the colors coordinate. The rich razzleberry paper with the ink, with the designer series paper. If it has rich razzleberry in it, it all matches. It makes grab and go crafting super easy. I'm just going to do a little bit of a lift in the center of the balloon to kind of create a bit of a highlight. It's a very subtle lift, so it's not going to get rid of all of the color. But you can see that it is starting to lift it just a tiny little bit. And then we're just going to do a little bit in the center zigzag. And then we're going to get our darker one for his bow tie and the dots on our cupcake liner. Sorry, momentarily distracted with what's going on outside. I am going to leave the liner as our cardstock base color. I think it works really well. Okay. Now, I did mention that I was going to show a couple of different techniques with our Take Your Pick tool. The first, and the one that I always go to, is to pick up our gems, but I'm not going to do that quite yet. But I am going to use the spatula end and flip it. So we've got the piercing tool here. Now, the piercing tool can be used multiple ways. You can use it to put your brads through. It makes a really quick and easy hole. Sorry, I'm just opening up a piece of cardstock or a cardstock package so that I don't actually pierce what I've got working on here. But I'm just going to do some little decorative holes across this. Now, if you like the look of sewing on your card, this is a great way to get that look. I'm just going to do tiny little holes to give it a little bit of definition and interest. If you need to do a braille card, you could use this for that as well. And we're just going to do 1, 2, 3. I'm not measuring. You can absolutely grab a ruler if you wanted to. You can also use the spatula, and if you ever accidentally stick something down to a spot that you don't want it, you can absolutely use that and fix that problem. I've done that more times than I could count. Okay, so I twisted my putty end to get the putty started, and we'll wrap it up, untwist it so that might be a little, yeah, that's a little bit big. So I'm just going to do, I was going to put one in the middle of his bow tie, but it's a little bit too big. I'm just going to do a little swoop of gems under the happy birthday. Whoops, missed it. And kind of hide it a little. You can always hide little mistakes by adding artwork, by adding bling, by adding ribbon. And I like odd numbers, so I've got 5 and 2. And I think I'm going to do a larger one. Life with pets, there's always pet for everywhere. Do one bling in each corner as well. So there is our card. We've used our Take Your Pick tool slightly differently than we usually do. I'm just going to flip it over. Now you can see that with the blends, it does bleed through. Not a big deal at all. We're just going to place our card there. And then when you open it up, we'll grab another piece of Very Vanilla for the inside. Excuse me. I'm going to make it the same size, so 5 1/4 by 4. It's amazing how you can create such a variety of cards with just a couple of different colors and a little bit of ink and a little bit of coloring. And if you are giving the card to a cat lover, you can easily customize it to the color of their pet as well. And let's do a stamp on the inside. Wishing You All of the Wishes is probably my favorite one from this set. So we're going to do that. We're going to do it in black though. And if you have a scrap piece of designer series paper that coordinates, you can absolutely run a strip of that. You can do some embellishment, you can do ribbon. Your project, your rules, whatever makes you happy is exactly what's right. So there's our card, one and done. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you're notified every single time a live video or a video goes live. I've also been doing some short form videos, so you get notified of those as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon.